Absolute disaster deal for Celtic, and I don't care, right? There is not one Celtic fan out there that can turn around and say that this is good for them. Linked with, I mean, the minimum Juranovic was getting linked with by Celtic fans or in the media was 15 million until recent days, where a 6.2 million bid from Monza came through, and it looks like, guys, it's gonna go through, but for 7 million on an initial loan. This is worst case scenario for Celtic, in my opinion. Now, people are going to argue, oh, but they're doubling what they bought on him because they bought him for 3.5, they're selling him for 7. Do the math, do. But no, this guy performed in the World Cup. Now, I rate Juranovic. I think he's worth, more than like a Bassi or something. I mean, age isn't for him. He's definitely a bit older, but even I think Celtic are I'll say Celtic are being hard done by. They just haven't negotiated a good deal. Personally, like I don't understand how it is so little to a club that's so pish. Like, why would you leave Celtic to go to Monza? Makes no sense. Like, I know they're backed by a former Italian prime minister, so they've probably got a lot of money behind them. But I mean, they're sitting relegation in Serie A, man. It just makes no sense. Like, and he was linked with Chelsea, United, Atletico Madrid, Barca, and if he's available for as little as 7 million, you think those teams would take a punt on him? Especially United. Look at United's right back options: Dallo and Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka. I mean, if they spend 50 million on Wan-Bissaka, why can't they spend 7 on Juranovic? Makes no sense, this, but Celtic fans must be fuming at this. All this talk of he's going to go for more than Bassi, he's going to go for the same as Tierney, he's going to go for more than Tierney, he's going to break the Scottish transfer record. Is he fuck going to break Hee Haw, man? 7 million, I think it's shite for Celtic, and it's shite for Scottish football. Like, we've had a guy in the league that has performed really well at the World Cup, and he's going for 7 million. I don't know what's happened in recent weeks. I mean, I'll admit he was absolute shite in the Old Firm, but I don't know how the guy, his transfer value has literally went down by 20 odd million. Like, we're not even taking the piss when we say that. It's literally went down by 20 odd million in the space of a couple of weeks. Absolutely insane. I mean, they finished third place in the World Cup, Croatia, and yet here we are with a 7 million disaster deal. And it is a disaster deal. They're making peanuts on him when they should have been making a lot more. And personally, I'm glad. It doesn't look good for Scottish football, in my opinion, but I'm actually glad it is happening. Chris Commons has come out and said that Juranovic may realise that there's nothing like playing for the Glasgow club as he is set to leave, but Giamakis is also set to leave, guys, as Japanese club Urawa Red Diamonds are keen on Celtic's Greek striker Giamakis 28. So I don't know if that's going to be a loan and then an option to buy, but maybe that's just going to, it'd be a bit weird seeing a Japanese club come in with like a 6 million bid. The Japanese clubs even like bid for players. Anytime you see it, it's always like free transfers, like David Fia or your big man. What's he called? Iniesta. So your big man, your wee man, Iniesta. So yeah, guys, that will do it here for Fog Football. That is your latest transfer news. Giamakis, hopefully he will find the exit door way to Japan. Juranovic, man, I think this is weird. It's weird more than anything. I don't really understand it, if I'm being perfectly honest, but we're going to make vids later. Todd Cantwell to Rangers, another weird deal. Tom Davies to Rangers, another weird deal. Yeah, and we've also actually, I guess we've already talked about 2 Celtic players, may as well talk about a third. They are linked. Well, Dyson Maeda is linked with a move to Southampton. Now, if you're not familiar with the Premier League, Southampton are doing shite. Of course, they signed Joe Aribo. I'm not saying Joe Aribo's the reason they're doing shite. I think their team's just pretty shite and their manager's awful, and Ralph Hasenhüttl was away. But Southampton have a decent team. They're definitely not the worst team in the Premier League. Like, Ward-Prowse, Aribo, Shea Adams, people like that. They should not be doing where they are, which is rock bottom. But Dyson Maeda, he'd definitely spice up that Southampton front line. But anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below. Juranovic, 7 million. Absolute mess, in my opinion. I want you guys to leave your thoughts down below, and I might put a poll up about how much is he actually worth. But anyway, till then, peace.